Welcome back to Tri-City Sports. Now, I know one of the things that a lot of people are looking at is with the success of Nick Foles leading the Eagles to the Super Bowl. Oh, could he be the starting quarterback of the Eagles next year? No, they're not going to, forget about Carson Wentz unless his injury is much worse than advertised. Trade bait, possibly. Remember when Jeff Hostetler led the Giants, or maybe you don't remember, it's 27 years ago, but Jeff Hostetler led the Giants to the Super Bowl upset, really, in 1990, Super Bowl 25, I believe it was. 1990 or 91. It was 1990, actually. 90 season, 91. So the Super Bowl was played. And he was then traded to the Raiders. It actually worked out pretty well for him because the Giants were at the end of their rope. And although they had a little bit of success with Dan Reeves when he came in after Ray Hanley, after Bill Parcells left, it was not the same for the Giants after that. And so anyway, but Hostetler had a decent career, although the Raiders didn't go to the Super Bowl or anything. But he did have a nice career with the first Los Angeles, and then he wound up with the Oakland Raiders. They moved back to Oakland in 95. So anyway, just look for something like that. It would be the fourth time in NFL history that a backup quarterback would have come in and won the championship. Only the second time in Super Bowl history. It would, now I will say this, in Super Bowl V, Earl Morrall did come in for an injured Johnny Unitas during the game, but he didn't start the game. Okay. So there have been backup quarterbacks that have started the Super Bowl. Vince Ferragamo, very famously for Pat Hayden, was one. But anyway, the point being that I would look right now, the Patriots, I'm a little bit surprised that they're a 5.5 point favorite. I would have thought they would have been a little bit more, especially with the odds makers putting down the Eagles during this playoff season. 2 home underdogs. But I will say this, the Eagles, if Rob Gronkowski, with the concussion, if he can't play, remember the last time the Patriots lost a game? It's to the Dolphins, early December. Gronkowski was suspended. That's a big loss if he cannot go due to a concussion. And the NFL does not fool around with concussions. Butch Jones is not on the sideline there, okay? This is the NFL, not the SEC. So, you have a circumstance in which there is now an avenue, although I do realize just how impressive it was for Tom Brady to pull out that victory. I mean, it was not just that. He came back from 2 double-digit point deficits, bad hand and all, down his top receiver, and he finds Danny Amendola. I'm looking at Danny Amendola. He's picking up 3rd and 18 with a 21-yard pass. When is Danny Amendola, who averages like 9 yards a catch, ever caught a 21-yard ball in his life?
The single back. Brady turns, play action, has all day, throwing back of the end zone, leaping up, Amendola pulls it in, touchdown! Danny Amendola along the back line of the end zone from 4 yards out, climbs the ladder, and may have just climbed the Patriots back to the Super Bowl. New England 23, Jacksonville 20.
And then they kicked the XPA, and hey, New England was in the Super Bowl for the 10th time. The team of the era. Okay. Let's see here. I wanted to go and there is a Tennessee news that I wanted to get to. And we talked a little bit last week about Alex Thompson. And he is a graduate transfer from Wagner that, speaking of that Super Bowl 25, Phil Simms really seems to like. He'd been mentoring him. He had been a walk-on at Wagner, and now has just developed into somebody that a lot of colleges are looking at, Tennessee, Iowa State among them. But Keller Chryst is a quarterback at Stanford, which is known for developing some pretty good quarterbacks, and now he says he's going to transfer. And he'll be a graduate transfer. Now, here's the thing. It really does seem like Jeremy Pruitt and company are kind of like me, and probably a lot like you. They didn't really like what they saw out of Jared Guarantano, Will McBride last year. Okay, JT Shrout comes in, but who knows what he's going to be. The other guy's on scholarship now, but neither Jared Guarantano nor Will McBride showed much, as you know. And it looks like they're in the market for another quarterback, be it Thompson or maybe Keller Chryst. Because Chryst just played 4 years at Stanford. He's going to be transferring. Graduate transfer. Now, this is kind of interesting. Who goes, usually I'm thinking if you're going to be a graduate transfer, if you're going to go to your master's degree or something, you usually transfer to Stanford. You don't transfer from Stanford to go to your master's. But you've got the college football thing in here, so, it's a little bit different now. But Chris, no, last year he was a starter for much of the year. He was benched for KJ Costello midway through the year. But according to Dan Wolken, USA Today reporter, Tennessee could be the place that Keller Chryst, the former Stanford quarterback, would transfer to. Who knows? Who knows? But you do have someone in Wolken. Here's the tweet that comes out. Heard this was in the works. Don't be surprised if Tennessee is a player here in Keller Chryst. Now, there is some talk that maybe you'd go to Rice. And, if you are thinking about a graduate transfer, one transferring Stanford to Rice, that kind of makes a little more sense than Stanford to Tennessee. I don't know. Communications department in Tennessee is real good. I don't know the major that Keller has. And again, you might be saying, Mark, we're talking about college football here. Come on. Is it really, he's going, you just said it yourself. He's going somewhere to play football, right? I mean, if it was that big of a deal, why didn't he go to MIT? Okay, I get that. But the Vols are after two quarterbacks with immediate eligibility. Thompson from Wagner, and now Keller Chryst from Stanford. What does this mean about next season for the Tennessee Volunteers? I think it could be a very big positive because I think it signifies that they could be going to more of a pro-style offense and away from the running quarterback, if you will, more structured plays, more discipline. Chryst was here we go with this. Remember, Jared Guarantano was the number 3 dual threat quarterback in the recruiting class. Well, Keller Chryst was the number 3 rated pocket passer in the 2004 recruiting class. By this time, if he's not the 3rd best quarterback in the league, what does that mean? I shouldn't say in the league, but in college football, what does that mean? If in 2004 he's the 3rd ranked pocket passer and he's, transferring from Stanford after he threw for less than 2,000 yards in 4 years at Stanford. Now, I should point this out. He also had 19 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. That's a nice number. He has started at Stanford. Don't get me wrong. I mean, he's a decent quarterback and all that. But is he the 3rd best of 2004? When you're going and giving 2014 rankings and recruiting, I don't care. So that's irrelevant by now. Give me this. And this is telling stats right here, okay? Thrown for 1,926 yards in his career. 19 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. 19 touchdowns, 6 interceptions isn't bad. Give me those stats. Don't tell me he was the number 3 ranked pocket passer by, I don't want to hear it because that's like telling me that Florida State was the number 3 team in the preseason rankings at the beginning of this year. So, Speaking of rankings, we are expecting to see the AP rankings come out for college basketball very shortly, here in just a little bit. It'll be interesting to see where ETSU goes in the mid-major rankings. I'm curious if they might actually be one of the others receiving votes. I might be a cockeyed optimist when I say that, and I think I probably am. But the point is that Andy Katz came out last week and ranked them number 36 overall in the nation. Now, all ETSU has done since then is win a couple of games in impressive fashion in both instances. Close game and a lopsided one against Western Carolina. Guess what? According to TeamRankings.com, the East Tennessee State Buccaneers are the favorite team to win all the rest of their games. Let me rephrase that. In other words, ETSU, according to analytics, have a better than 50% chance of winning all the rest of their remaining games on the season. What do you think about that? I think that going to Greensboro is about a 53% chance of victory. But other than that, yeah, the Bucs are predicted, 99% chance to win against, the likes of Citadel and Furman or, things of this nature. Heavily favored against Mercer, which is their next team. Jordan Strawberry, Daryl's son, coming in this Wednesday to Freedom Hall. Anyway, let me give you a quick rundown of, we will be having Steve Forbes on top of the hour, so in about 18 minutes, talk to him about his impressive victories against both Western and Furman, the upcoming game against the Mercer Bears. I do want to make a apology to people. I know we were scheduled to broadcast Friday night the Unicoi County Happy Valley basketball game, and it turned out this way. I really fell ill. As if you saw the show, and if you watch it on archives, you'll be able to find out that real fast. I really fell ill, and I was unable to broadcast the game. Our backup announcer was out of town, and so we basically decided to reschedule the broadcast to a different game. So, do apologize for that. However, I want to tell you that the Blue Devils games are sponsored by the following people. Health and Home Care, Jones and Church Farms, Unicoi County Insurance Agency, Unicoi Gas Utility District, Farm Bureau Insurance, Irwin Paint and Body Shop, Clinchfield Federal Credit Union, Computer Guy of Irwin. They do, real good guy, Computer Guy of Irwin. Relay for Life of Unicoi County, the dentist, Dr. Jason Cunningham, Irwin Utilities, they sponsor the free throws, Irwin Bonding, Unicoi County Memorial Hospital, Urgent Care of Irwin, Irwin Pets, and the Irwin Kentucky Fried Chicken. That's what we have on tap today. Anyway, I wanted to mention that when we come back, I will be giving you, I should do the Chuck Barris thing, more stuff, more talk about the Super Bowl, and a little bit of talk maybe about ETSU's Buccaneers victory against Western. We'll talk more about the sports world in general after this on Tri-City Sports Now.
Treat Buick GMC. It means trust. Broker